I wasn't always standing on stages like this. Long before the leather jacket, long before the world knew what a GPU was, I was a dishwasher at a Denny's in San Jose. I was a busboy. I cleaned toilets. I've probably cleaned more toilets than anyone in this room, and I did it with a level of dedication that might surprise you. People often ask me how a dishwasher becomes the CEO of a company like NVIDIA, and the answer is simple. I was the best dishwasher Denny's had ever seen. I didn't see it as a stepping stone or a menial task. I saw it as a problem to be solved with excellence. I optimized the flow of the dishes. I organized the station. I made sure that every plate that left my hands was perfect. That humble kitchen was my first lesson in engineering. It taught me that no job is beneath you if you want to build a foundation of resilience. It taught me that character is forged in the work that nobody else wants to do. That philosophy became the bedrock of NVIDIA. From the very first day, we made a conscious decision to only work on problems that were impossible. If a problem is easy, someone else is already doing it. If the path is clear, the competition is already there. We look for the things that are so difficult, so messy, and so painful that most people simply walk away. We look for those $0 billion markets, markets that don't exist yet, but where the physics says they should exist. We don't want to compete for a slice of an existing pie. We want to build the oven, the bakery, and the entire supply chain for a pie the world hasn't even tasted yet. This approach requires a specific kind of internal culture. It requires us to be intellectual masochists. We have to find joy in the struggle, because the struggle is where the value is created. The greatest struggle of our generation is happening right now. We are witnessing the end of an era that has defined our civilization for 60 years. For 6 decades, we have lived in the era of general-purpose computing. We built software to run on CPUs. We followed Moore's law with religious fervor, expecting that every 18 months our processors would get twice as fast for the same cost. But the physics of the universe has different plans. Moore's law is over. The steady march of CPU performance has hit a wall, and that wall is made of thermal limits and the fundamental size of atoms. We can no longer just throw more power at a central processor and expect it to do more. At the same time, the way we build software is fundamentally breaking. For 60 years, software was compiled. Humans wrote code, line by line, instruction by instruction, to tell the computer exactly what to do. If this, then that. This is traditional software. It is rigid. It is fragile. It is limited by the speed at which a human being can think and type. But we are moving into a new world. We are moving from the era of software 1.0, where humans write code, to software 2.0, where data writes code, and finally to the era we are entering today, the era of Agentic AI. Traditional software is about to become a legacy artifact. In the future, we won't use software in the way we do today. We won't open an app to perform a task. Instead, we will collaborate with agents. An agent is not just a chatbot. It is not just something that gives you a clever answer. An agent is an entity that can reason, that can use tools, that can formulate a plan, and most importantly, that can take action. This is the shift from tools to partners. And this shift requires a complete reinvention of the computing stack. To understand why this is happening, we have to go back to first principles. What is the fundamental purpose of a computer? It is to process information to achieve a goal. In the old world, the human provided the reasoning and the computer provided the calculation. In the new world of agentic AI, the computer provides both. It perceives the goal, it understands the context, it evaluates the trade-offs, and it executes the steps. This requires an astronomical amount of compute, not the sequential slow compute of the CPU, but the massive, parallel, accelerated compute of the GPU. This is why we built Blackwell. Blackwell is not just a chip, it is the engine of the agentic era. When we designed Blackwell, we weren't just thinking about how to make a faster processor. We were thinking about the first principles of intelligence. Intelligence requires 3 things: a massive model to hold knowledge, a massive amount of data to learn from, and a massive amount of interconnectivity so the different parts of the brain can talk to each other at the speed of light. Traditional computing was built to move data from a disk to a memory to a processor. Agentic computing is built to move thought across a network of thousands of GPUs working as a single planetary scale computer. This transition is the new industrial revolution. In the first industrial revolution, we learned how to manufacture mechanical power. In this revolution, we are manufacturing intelligence. Intelligence is the most valuable commodity in history, and for the first time, we are producing it at scale. But building an intelligence factory is an impossible problem that requires us to be resilient in the face of constant failure. NVIDIA's history is a history of near-death experiences. People see us today and think our success was inevitable. It wasn't. In 1997, we were 30 days from bankruptcy. Our first product had failed. Our second product was a disaster. We were a tiny company trying to tell the world that the future of computing was in 3D graphics and parallel processing, and the world thought we were crazy. I had to go to my team and tell them that we were going to bet everything on one last design, the Riva 128. I had to be humble enough to admit we were wrong, but urgent enough to run as if our lives depended on it, because they did. That 30 days from bankruptcy mindset has never left us. I still wake up every morning with that same feeling. It doesn't matter how many billions of dollars are in the bank or what our stock price is. Success is fragile. The moment you think you've made it is the moment you start to die. You have to maintain that run, don't walk mentality. In our industry, you are either the hunter or the hunted. There is no middle ground. There is no maintaining your position. You are either accelerating toward the future or you are being run over by it. This is why NVIDIA has a flat structure. I don't have a hierarchy of vice presidents and middle managers to protect me from the truth. I have 50 direct reports. 50. In any other company, that would be a nightmare. But I do it because I want to hear the truth from the engineers who are actually building the chips and the software. I want the information to flow at the speed of light. I don't want status reports. I want to know what the impossible problems are. In a flat organization, there is no place to hide. You are forced to take ownership. You are forced to be resilient. You are forced to lead. We are applying this culture to the rise of agentic AI. We realize that for an agent to be truly useful, it cannot just live in a cloud. It has to be integrated into the fabric of our companies, our homes, and our lives. We are building the full stack for these agents, from the silicon to the systems to the NIMs, NVIDIA inference microservices, that allow them to think and act. We are moving from a world where we tell computers what to do to a world where we teach computers how to be. This is the end of traditional software, because traditional software is too slow for this world. If you have to wait for a human to write code to solve a new problem, you've already lost. In the agentic era, the agent sees the problem and creates its own solution in real time. It adapts, it learns, it evolves. This is a level of productivity that humanity has never seen. It is the decoupling of labor from population. It is the ability to create value at the speed of light. But to reach this future, we have to be willing to suffer. We have to be willing to invest billions of dollars into technologies that may not pay off for a decade. We did that with CUDA. In 2006, when we launched CUDA, the world told us we were wasting our time. Wall Street punished our stock. They said we were a graphics company and we should stay in our lane. But we knew from first principles that the world would eventually need more compute than the CPU could provide. We stayed the course for 15 years. 15 years of suffering through skepticism and low adoption. But we didn't stop. We kept building. We kept refining. We kept running. Now, that 15-year bet is the foundation of the modern world. Every AI model, every scientific simulation, every autonomous vehicle, they all run on the platform we built during our dark ages. This is the reward for resilience. This is the result of choosing the hard path. As we look toward the horizon of 2026 and beyond, the vision is clear. The age of the agent is here. We are no longer building tools. We are building entities. We are no longer writing scripts. We are creating colleagues. This is a fundamental shift in the human experience. It is the greatest opportunity in the history of technology, but it requires us to be more urgent and more humble than ever before. We must run toward this future with everything we have. We must not walk. We must not hesitate. The window of opportunity is open, but it is closing fast for those who are still trying to solve today's problems with yesterday's software. We have built the intelligence factory. We have built the Blackwell architecture. We have built the Omniverse, where these agents can learn the laws of physics. We have provided the brain and the gym. Now it is time for the world to build the agents. This requires us to rethink everything. How do we organize a company when half of the workforce consists of AI agents? How do we define productivity when intelligence is abundant and free? How do we maintain our humanity in a world where machines can reason? These are the impossible questions of our time. And at NVIDIA, we are tackling them the only way we know how, by going back to the physics of the problem, by stripping away the noise, and by being willing to fail until we find the truth. I want you to think about your own work. What are the impossible problems you are avoiding? What is the Denny's dishwasher job in your organization that you think is beneath you, but is actually the key to your excellence? If you want to succeed in the agentic era, you have to be willing to get your hands dirty. You have to be willing to endure the pain of transformation. You have to be willing to throw away the traditional software you've spent 20 years mastering to make room for the agentic future. The transition will be difficult. It will be messy. It will involve a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. And as I always say to students, I wish you that pain. I wish you that suffering, because without it, you will never build the resilience needed to lead. You will never develop the character needed to survive the 30 days from bankruptcy. Because that resilience is exactly what allows you to dismantle the past to make room for the future. You have to have the stomach to kill your own products, to kill the very things that made you successful before someone else does it for you. And today, we are killing the traditional idea of software. We are moving away from the world of static instructions and into the world of dynamic reasoning. When we look at the first principles of software, what is it really? It is a tool to translate human intent into machine action. For decades, the bottleneck was the translation. We needed armies of programmers to act as translators, writing millions of lines of code to bridge the gap between what a business wanted and what a computer could do. But with Agentic AI, the computer now understands the intent. The bottleneck is gone. The translator is now the machine itself. This is why I say the end of traditional software is near. In the very near future, you won't buy a piece of software to do accounting or do engineering. You will hire an agent. You will have a digital workforce of specialized entities that understand your company's data, your company's culture, and your company's goals. These agents will collaborate with each other. A marketing agent will talk to a supply chain agent to adjust promotions based on real-time inventory. A coding agent will talk to a security agent to patch a vulnerability before it's even exploited. This is not a program running. It is a system of intelligence living and breathing within your organization. At NVIDIA, we are already living in this future. We are a flat organization, not just because I like to talk to engineers, but because we use AI to compress the distance between an idea and its execution. We use agents to help us design our chips. We use agents to optimize our supply chain. We use agents to write our software libraries. This is how a company of our size can move with the agility of a startup. We have eliminated the friction of traditional corporate bureaucracy by replacing processes with agents. But to power this agentic world, you need a different kind of infrastructure. You cannot run a reasoning agent on a traditional CPU-based server. A reasoning agent needs to think. It needs to iterate. It needs to reflect on its own answers. This inference process is actually more computationally intensive than the training process. When an agent is reasoning, it is essentially running thousands of mini simulations in its head to find the best path forward. This is why Blackwell is so revolutionary. It is the first processor designed specifically for the era of high-stakes, real-time inference. It provides the compute horsepower for agents to think, reason, and act at the speed of human thought, or faster. We have built the full stack for this transformation. We didn't stop at the chip. We created NVIDIA NIM, NVIDIA Inference Microservices. Think of a NIM as a containerized brain. It is a way for any developer to take a world-class AI model and deploy it as an agent in minutes. We have taken the impossible complexity of AI infrastructure and turned it into a simple building block. We want to empower every company to build their own intelligence factory. This is the sovereign AI movement. Every country, every company, and every individual has unique knowledge. Your data is your gold. In the old era of software, you gave your data to a software provider and they provided you with a tool. In the agentic era, you keep your data and you use it to train your own agents. Your intelligence stays with you. This is a massive shift in the balance of power. It is the democratization of intelligence. But as we move into this era, the urgency has never been greater. The world is changing in real time. The moat that companies used to have, their proprietary software, their legacy systems, is evaporating. In the agentic era, the only moat is your speed of learning. How fast can your agents learn from your data? How fast can you deploy new reasoning capabilities? If you are still thinking in terms of software cycles and annual updates, you are already obsolete. You must move to a continuous, real-time model of intelligence. You must run, don't walk, toward this transformation. I see so many people waiting. They are waiting for the technology to mature. They are waiting for the regulations to be clear. They are waiting for a safe time to innovate. Let me tell you, there is no safe time. The most dangerous place to be is in the middle of the road. If you wait, you will be bypassed by those who were willing to embrace the pain and suffering of being first. At NVIDIA, we have always been comfortable with being misunderstood. We were misunderstood when we launched the first GPU. We were misunderstood when we launched CUDA. We were misunderstood when we pivoted entirely to AI. Being misunderstood is the price of being right early. If you are a student, if you are a developer, if you are a CEO, I want you to embrace the impossible. Look for the problems that traditional software has failed to solve for 50 years. Look for the inefficiencies that we've just accepted as part of doing business. Those are the places where Agentic AI will have the greatest impact. Don't try to use AI to make your current software 10% better. Use AI to make your current software irrelevant. The work of our lives is to build the future, not to maintain the past. We are the architects of the most significant shift in human history. We are moving from a world of tools to a world of intelligence. This is a journey that requires extreme resilience. You will face skepticism. You will face technical hurdles that seem like walls. You will face moments where the first principles of your business seem to be crumbling. In those moments, remember the Denny's dishwasher. Remember that excellence is found in the struggle. Remember that character is built when your back is against the wall and you have 30 days to find a way forward. The pain you feel is the sensation of growth. The suffering is the forge that makes you unbreakable. As we look toward 2026 and the years beyond, the vision is absolute. The era of traditional, compiled, static software is ending. The era of agentic AI, of dynamic reasoning, autonomous partners has begun. Everything that can be optimized will be optimized by an agent. Every industry will be reinvented. The global economy will be fundamentally transformed. This is not a prediction of a distant future. It is the reality we are building today. The intelligence factories are being spun up as we speak. The Blackwell systems are being deployed. The NIMs are being integrated into the global software stack. The revolution is already underway. The conclusion is logical, irrefutable, and inevitable. Intelligence is the new electricity, and agentic AI is the machine that will power every aspect of our lives. We have transitioned from the era of calculation to the era of reasoning, and there is no going back. So I leave you with this call to action. Don't be a spectator in this revolution. Be an architect. Be a builder. Take the tools we have created and use them to solve the problems that have plagued humanity for centuries. Use them to cure diseases, to solve the energy crisis, to create a world of abundance, but whatever you do, do it with urgency. Run, don't walk. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey. This is a transformation that belongs to all of us, and I am excited to see what you will build with the power of accelerated computing. If you believe in this agentic future, if you are ready to tackle the impossible alongside us, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps us grow this community of visionaries. And I truly want to hear from you. What agents are you building? What impossible problems are you solving? Leave your questions and your thoughts in the comments below. I, Jensen, will be reading them and I will respond as quickly as I can. Let's engage, let's learn, and let's build the future together. The era of software is over. The era of intelligence has arrived. Run, don't walk.